when by the time Mama Rose is trying to get now Louise to be a star, who doesn't seem to have any of the energy or talent that, or the desire to do it, that June seemed to have as a child. Um, as I said, vaudeville is dying, and they get booked by mistake in a burlesque house, which was strippers and stuff. So there are these middle-aged, um, over the hill strippers, and they made a very clever scene out of it. And this is how how when it happens that they need someone to go on as a stripper and the other women aren't available, that Mama Rose gets the idea to have Gypsy go on, and this song provides the gimmick that they end up choosing for Gypsy Rose Lee, which is she'll be a stripper, but she's not really going to show anything. She's just going to turn around and she's going to be very high class and wear evening gowns and mink and things like that. And she ended up because she was so pretty and she had this shtick to do this kind of act, she became a big star and society people embraced her and everything. But before that, when they're in this rundown burlesque house, these three strippers who the creators had very clever names for them. One of them is called Mazeppa, which is a name of a poem by Lord Byron, about Mazeppa, who was a Ukrainian Cossack leader. And there's a Liszt piece called Mazeppa, which is a tone poem, which is about this heroic person. And her gimmick is she has a bugle or a trumpet that she plays. So they all do bump and grind dance, but each of these three women have a gimmick. That's what's so clever. And these lyrics are great. This is obviously Stephen Sondheim came up with these great lyrics. And I'm sure that a lot of the ideas were Jerome Robbins, because he was great at coming up with very theatrical and crowd-pleasing ideas. The second woman, her name is Electra, which is like the name of the Greek tragedy. But Electra, her gimmick is on her skimpy outfit. She does her song with a switch, which means that when she's shaking herself, she has little light up pasties, so she lights up. That's why her name's Electra. And the third one, this is the funniest name of all. Her name is Tessie Tura. Like her name is Tessie and her last name is Tura, but you'd have to understand what that means in Italian. An opera singer, your tessitura of a certain role is where in your voice the certain role lies. So if you have a higher voice, it works for certain things. But this is just a joke that not everybody would get, but you know, it was clever that her name is Tessie Tura, and her gimmick is that she does like ballet on point shoes, but then at the end of each phrase she does some bump and grind move. So you can obviously tell who's saying which lines. It's each girl has their own verse, and at the end they sort of alternate it. I have to go back to zero. You can pull all the stops out till they call the cops out. Grind your behind till you're banned. But you gotta have a gimmick if you wanna get a hand. You can sacrifice your sacro, working in the back row, bump in a dump till you're dead. Kid, you gotta have a gimmick if you wanna get ahead. You can, That's how burlesque was born. So and but I do it with a horn. I was a schlepper, now I'm Miss Mazeppa with my revolution in dance. You gotta have a gimmick if you wanna have a chance. She can, she can, she can, They'll never make her rich. Me, and I, but I do it with a switch. So she does, they have like the drum is going, and then when she does her pose, she has all these lights on her. I'm electrifying, and I'm not even trying. I never have to sweat to get paid. 'Cause if you got a gimmick, Gypsy girl, you got it made. All them and them and them ain't gonna spell success. Me, and I, but I do it with finesse. Dressy tessitura is so much more demure than all them other ladies, because you gotta get a gimmick if you wanna get applause. Do something special, anything that's fresh'll earn you a big fat cigar. You're more than just a mimic when you get a gimmick. Take a look how different we are. If you wanna make it, twinkle when you shake it. If you wanna grind it, wait till you've refined it. If you wanna bump it with a trumpet. Get yourself a gimmick and you too